be upon him. And the city that he loves is the Makkah. So they will surround both of them, but they will not be able to enter. Hadith mentions that they will not be able to enter Medina. They will destroy Makkah. They might even destroy Kaaba, but they will not. They will not be able to enter Medina.
So that's
Yes, that we don't know 100% about that. There's a maybe. There's a maybe to that because there's no clear cut about that. Yeah. But the only thing that is clear about it that they will not be able to enter Medina because it's mentioned that it's the camp of God's people. It's the camp, and the camp will not be destroyed. That's the only place he will not be able to enter. But the rest of the places he will occupy, he will come, he will destroy. And this is mentioned. This camp of God's people and city. I'm reading this from Revelations, book of Revelations. This is predictions in the Bible about what's going to happen 1,000 years after Prophet, peace be upon him. Yeah. I'm not even talking about Hadith, I'm talking about the book of Revelations in it. Jibaji. Please, Bari, please, Bari.
The thinking of there, because of the global warming, the sea oceans have been rise, and hence much of the land of the
That's right.
shall not be like things.
Could be.
And I've stopped and I learned about things for a long time ago. I thought, wow. And so east and the west.
And Arabian Peninsula. Yep.
It's just that it's a wee bit different from what I was taught when I was young. And for my kids were taught, actually I learned from my children. And it was quite practical, as in the way it was listed. Maybe it was to make it easy for the children to understand the enormity of the Day of Judgment. They were told about the smoke and the great fires, that there's going to be lots of fires taking place. And when I used to see these wildfires, and I used to say that these were minor signs of Day of Judgment.
But these are major ones. What you're talking about, 10, these are 10 major signs. Yeah.
And in the book it said that Jesus, peace be upon him, was going to come, and he was the one who was the God. And no, I'm just telling you, folks, my children were taught, and I learned because
that's right. And it is still mentioned in some books of Hadith. There are some books of Hadith which do mention that Jesus is going to come, and he is going to kill the Dajjal. However, it's a lengthy topic. We can talk about it, but it just
I'm just it's that something I find it not confusing. I see we don't what you're saying is there's only very few things that we do for this, which were passed down.
That's right.
For example, Gog and Magog.
Exactly.
That's quite plain.
And the buildings.
The buildings, yes.
And the abolition of slavery. That's what this.
About slavery, I was going to ask. I was assuming about the mother will give birth. A slave girl will give birth to our master. As in, the children will not listen to the parents and they'll rule over them.
Then the word should have been the mothers will give rise to their mothers or fathers. Or
no, I know, but slave girl, as in she's treated like. This is what I was.
No, I'm with you. So, if we would take that interpretation, the first contradiction would be why say a slave girl? A slave girl will give rise to her master. It would have been any time the Quran or the Sunnah specifies something that cannot be generalized. So when it specifies a slave girl will give birth to her master, meaning that she's no longer, because you have to understand the context of it. The context was that a slave girl is a slave girl forever, and whatever birth she gives, whoever becomes will be a slave. But that will no longer be the case. This is how. If it was for children, then there was no need to specify a slave girl.
No, this is the children weren't taught that. I was at an adult class.
Yes, I know. This is some people do interpreted that way. But the greatest criticism to that interpretation is that why talk about a slave girl then? You should just that the mothers will give rise to their masters or something like that. But here is specified: slave girl will give rise to the master, because she would never in the past be able to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Once born a slave was a slave. Mhm.
And we're seeing it from and it says the big up all the water, but you was dumping it here, the station to let anybody dump.
No, you're talking about completely different thing here. Yes,
Like, that's now when she.
no, that's a completely different thing.
So what's that?
Those are all those are all fabricated stories.
The fault.
The false.
And
They-
I
Sorry.
scientific story. It said that the sun will, it was some sort of rotation that it is going to
Yeah.
set from the west. I thought, wow. And now it's a scientific.
That's right. That's right. Because see, at the moment, the way we see east is because the Earth is rotating in an anti-clockwise fashion. If it starts doing a clockwise fashion, we'll see it the other way.
Yeah, yeah.
That's all it has to do. That's why you have to be very, very careful. This is the reason why we have these classes, Yasmin, that we need to be careful. The internet and the other places are full of stories. And they say these your Gog and Magog have this big ears. They're so big that they can sleep on these ears, and then they can run so fast, then they can drink the whole rivers and oceans in one go. People love to, you have to remember when in past there was no internet. They had these elders who used to sit down in the evening, set a fire, and then tell them stories. Do you know Gog and Magog? What were they like? Metal wall was built. Metal wall was built. See, that's reality. That metal wall was built by Cyrus to keep the Germane, tribes, Gog and Magog in Russia behind them. That's true. Of course, that's true. The Quran has mentioned that. Quran has mentioned the Quran. But they're not opening. See this mention of, they're opening it every morning, and then they say they forget to say inshallah, and then they go.
Yes, I've had that.
Just stories, just to keep people, nice and sweet. That has already broken. They have already taken control of the world. They've already taken control of the world. Yeah.
Sorry, we keep on taking that. Sorry. Please ask your questions. We'll never stop.
What? All right, okay. I thought you were going to put it.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. It's all right.
This. You are good. The past in Yemen. I remember reading about that and teaching as well.
Yeah.
And my children learning it. And now I think of the atomic bomb. And I think of Israel because they've got all the arsenal
That's right.
and everything else.
That's right.
But although they don't say they have, but they have.
Yeah.
So everybody says.
That's right. That's right.
So I was thinking maybe that's what that is.
It could be. It could be. It could be. I have a feeling of smoke covering the world to be more that atomic bomb like, because it just rises up and covers everything and becomes everything dark. So that's my feeling. But
people start waking up.
Yeah.
Then you just fire into anybody. You can see that the smoke is coming from.
Yeah.
It is going to give people more. We can fire it.
Yeah. Hamza, please go ahead. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, right. So the word, because it's a word which is used both in the Quran and in the Hadith. The word used is dabba, dabbatul ard. Dabba means a four-legged animal. So it doesn't. It's not a. Um, it's not like artificial or anything. It's a. It's a four. It's specified and specific for four-legged animals. And sometimes it can be used for two-legged ones as well. But animals who are alive, who are really alive. It symbolizes life. When Allah mentions in the Quran and other places that there is dabba even in the skies, even in the heavens, what we call as space. Yeah, Allah mentions it, and Allah has mentioned this specifically so that people understand that there is life, actual life, not just artificial things or angels or jinns. Actual life is avail is present in the space in other places. That's why the Quran uses the same word, dabba. So dabba, as I said, specifically for four-legged, but sometimes for humans is also used dabba. But it is specific for alive things, not dead or artificial. That makes sense. Yeah. Yeah. Hmm. Yeah. It's a very well picked up. Very well picked up, Hamza. Jazakallah khair. So what it is, it's a metaphor which is used in the hadith, and it's rightly used in the hadith, the Sahih hadith, that he's going to be one-eyed, meaning he's going to have only the dunya in his mind. He's not going to have a balanced view. He's going to be one-eyed, meaning he's just leaning towards the world. He will take people away from the balance of رَبَّنَا آتِنَا فِي الدُّنْيَا حَسَنَةً وَفِي الْآخِرَةِ حَسَنَةً. So he's specific. So he's just one-eyed. He doesn't have that, vision, which is the 3D vision. He just has one-eyed vision, and one-eyed vision is never a 3D vision. So he's not going to have one eye as in physically, but he is one-eyed in his essence, in his presentation, and in his approach. Barakallah. Barakallah. Yes, ma'am.
Funny that what happened was
Mhm.
he had to say the thing that is actually that in the Quran. He teaches, he's telling us
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
that tells me a lot of my faith. If you could say that,
Yeah.
what would be these people? You're a monster. You are a human. If you can say that,
Fortunately, yeah. Any other points? Any other comments?
to say just about the dunya, I'm just thinking of the atheists or about that's the term.
Yeah.
People millionaires and billionaires to think of collecting.
Yeah. That's what they are looking. But the Dajjal, to be specified, is that it's going to be exclusively that, meaning he is going to lead, he's going to command, he's going to challenge, and he's going to channel only dunya for people. He's going to be a he's going to be an embodiment of shaitan. That just dunya, there is nothing else. If anybody even talks about anything else other than this world, I'm going to kill him. I'm going to destroy him.
Those who follow him as well.
That's it. Yeah, absolutely.
And this is the thing, when you before I instructed how you want, there is something not to do. To do what do it, and we'll know how anybody say anything against it.
Yeah. And if you look at the Zionists, the way they are waiting for the Messiah,
Yeah.
they're not waiting for Messiah as a prophet. You know that. So the original Jews, the traditional Jews were thinking of Messiah as their king and a prophet. But the Zionists are saying, no, he's just the king. There's nothing spiritual about him. He's just going to be sent so that we rule the actual whole world.
The pastors are over inside. They could sit one over there, they could go look at the whole lot.
Promised to us 3,000 years ago.
They could keep Cyprus and leave.
Leave Palestine, exactly. Subhanallah.
You try to avoid everything, avoid for everything that they want, and it's important.
But there you go. This is what is meant to be. This is what's meant to be for the Jal to actually have that power. And you can. I'm gonna share a photograph, inshallah, later on. I was meant to share it earlier on, but I was busy, so I couldn't share it before. It's a map of the world, and on the map there are green countries and white countries. Yeah, green countries are supporting Palestine, and white countries are opposing Palestine or supporting Israel. So to say, green countries are 95%. Green countries are 95%. You see that map, which I'll share that. This just tells you what we were looking at the Quranic ayah today. وَكُلُّ حَدَبٍ يَنْسِلُونَ, that they will come from all the places and they will have full control of the whole. The Gog and the Magog, the Yajuj and the Majuj. And this is exactly what it is there that we know today. And I'll share that inshallah later on. And in fact, I'll just share just now. Yeah. There you go. I shared it on the group. Very much.
That it would be so difficult
Mhm.
to be a judgment upright.
Yeah.
But that's exactly what's happening now.
That's right.
People who speak up for justice
Mhm.
are getting punished.
Yeah. And regardless of who you are,
Mhm.
look at the UN rapporteur. She's not even a Muslim.
Oh, yes.
Look at imagine the level and the state of corruption. And this way, if you look at the photograph, I've just shared it, the green countries and the white countries, and just see what control there is, unfortunately.
And she did say she was expecting backlash and even threats to herself, her family, and it's happening.
There you
And
go.
that's what happens in the family.
Absolutely. If this is not the Dajjal system, then what is it going to be? There's always investment coming from back doors sometimes.
You notice it's a poorer country. You know what it's really like? It's that bad. People are even falling down for it. Unfortunately. I think they don't have to. So you know what the thing?
Yeah.
The thing. These people who move it back, the going down is what the bad things are that they and when you come up here
I think that they'll blame them as well, because you see, when your rubbish is being funded by someone, you are a slave to that funder. That's what you do. You just lick the boots of that funder. Thank you very much. Can I have some more? Can I have some more?
That's wrong.
Is
They
it-
become beggars. And due to that, they
Oh.
become
All these so-called leaders, they're not leaders.
Mhm.
They're bootlickers. All
I mean,
bootlickers.
tons of, and now not only that age, when they're given it, it's like you can only spend it on this or buy this from us.
Yes.
Point of value.
Yeah. And again, it's to do with the lack of leadership. When you don't have any leaders in the world, you just have these puppets and muppets who are doing their own businesses and just surviving for themselves. And they don't care.
Then you put the passport,
What's passport stuff?
passport, like a picture of all, passport, the driving license, all the documents, you know how you and open the one up, and that's how you get the that's the process to getting done. And what they're saying is we want to keep control of the real migrants are allowed to and keep the ones that are not allowed to out. That's next 3 years you no longer have to use the passport to control. Hopefully I'll not be around.
Subhanallah. Okie dokie.